Did I get a notification yet? I can't tell. But I am running 30 frames. Okay. I think I think we are live now. But anyways, hey everyone. Welcome to another live stream. Yes, I know I haven't live streamed in ages because I've just been so busy with things, you know. Yeah, so I've been really busy with things and I don't really know what else to say. I guess the winter time has also made me perhaps a little ill, I would say. I was ill last time from December. And then now I'm ill again. So although I don't know, I can kind of feel it anyways. I don't know if it's there fully, but it's not as bad as last time. Oh, anyways, yeah, that's why I haven't been live in a while, because last time, last month or last year, I was really ill, so yeah. But anyways, so yeah, yeah, I don't know what the weather. Why is the weather so very very unstable? I just don't get it. I just don't get why. But anyways, I'm gonna be reviewing. My God, I haven't made videos or live stream in so long. I've made a couple of videos. I'm used to making videos now than live streams, but yeah. So basically, I've got the nice amount of daylight as well. Let me show you guys. Daylight. I don't know why it's not adjusting the exposure. It looks way too bright on the camera. There we go. That's what it looks like in real life. All nice and blue. That's what I can see. But then when I zoom out, the exposure goes really high. Which is, I don't know why it does that, but whatever. Yeah, so, I'm just gonna have to cover up the info on here. I guess the last thing you can see. There, alright. So, I'm going to be basically reviewing this item for you guys. Now, you're probably wondering, yes, I have ordered it online, and it did arrive just then. You know what was crazy though? This website told me that it's gonna be estimated within thing, what's it called? It's gonna be it was estimated for before the 26th, which was yesterday. I was waiting for it all day yesterday and it didn't come. Well, guess what, guys? I was just downstairs a couple minutes ago. That's why I started this live stream, because I was like, yeah, the second I receive this order, I'm just going to make a live stream. I don't know if I'm going to review it for the day. I might, but I may not put it in my desktop yet, because, what's it called? I may not put it in my desktop yet, literally just because, I don't really feel like it today, so... I mean, obviously, I feel kind of ill in the first place, and it's all because of this stupid, very unstable weather. Barely ever got snow. We did get snow one day, but it wasn't layers. It was just a tiny, tiny puddle. When I came downstairs and looked out the window, it just melted. So that was like 2 weeks ago now. I think that was, but I've been waiting for snow, like even more snow, and it hasn't snowed. So whatever. Anyways. Yeah, so, what was I gonna say? Yeah, so, I saw the postman walk in, and, I was just looking out the window because it was a nice, sunny day and stuff, and I just saw this postman dressed in orange. He was wearing, those reflective orange coat, things, how do I say this? It's it's sort of you know how you see some policemen's wearing this bright green reflective coat thing? I don't even know what it's called. It's basically that, but in orange. And yeah, I immediately knew it was a postman because he was holding papers and stuff in his hand. I didn't see that he was holding this in his hand until I just kind of I went in front of my door and I just kind of, what's the best way to describe it? Because I've got is it called a portrait? I don't even know what it's called, but I kind of looked over there and I didn't see anything. And then I just opened the door and I randomly just see him. First I see, before that, when I look out the window, first I saw him walking down the street and to some houses in front of my house. And then when I open the door, all of a sudden I see him walking back up and he goes straight to my house. And then I see a package in his hand. I'm like, yes, give it to me. Well, I was like that in my head, and then I was like, thanks. And he was like, cheers. And then basically, yeah, so that's how I got this, this package. So I think I already know what's in here because I can feel it by the weight of it. Too much weight feels like it's on that side than this side. There's very little weight on this side. If anything, most of the mass of the weight feels like it's on that side. And this entire half here just feels empty. So I think they probably use packaging a little bit too big, but whatever. We'll see what it's like when we unbox it. So, right, what was I going to do? I don't have any devices on me at the moment. Oh, I might actually, I don't know. Let me think. I'm not going to use my PS4 because that's got HDCP enabled and I don't really feel like watching YouTube on there. I haven't watched YouTube in ages on the PS4. It's been like, what? Like a solid year or two now, I think. I don't know, I think the last time I watched YouTube on there was like 2020, 2021, 2022, so something like that. I used to watch YouTube a lot on the big screen back then, but I don't really anymore because HDCP, that stopped it. Yeah, what's it called? So yeah, I'm gonna go get a knife because this part of tape that you see that's teared out like that, I did that myself because originally it was like, uniform and down there, but then when I peeled it back, I didn't realize. Oh no, it's a terrible version of this. The tape that they use, because they usually have the ends like cut off, like kind of yeah, they have the end like a little bit like teeth on a gear. This kind of tape with this kind of edge, don't rely on it to just peel back like carefully, because then it just will rip and it won't come back in one piece like this. It always happens with me with this kind of tape. So yeah, right, you can take a look at the rest of it. Like it sort of looks like that, like it was perfectly cut by something, right, I'm just going to show you guys now. See, I'm looking on the package and the phone screen just in case I don't get my address in here, because it's got all my info on there. Yeah, it's pretty basic how it's not much, I guess. But yeah, standard package. I like how they use dark mode packaging, because usually one thing I've always known, they always use packaging like, hold on. They always use packaging like this. I think sometimes like this, and they use like boxes. But yeah, and then sometimes use packaging like that as well. Not all the time, just for stuff like power supplies and special stuff like that. But yeah, what's it called? If you guys know me, I mostly, I'm always in the world of electronics. I'm all about electronics, especially Windows PCs, because I don't know what it is. Even though I've used Mac OS the other day in a very long, my first time back in a very long time using Mac OS on the laptop and the desktop. Anyways, I'm not going to mention where that was, because yeah, I just don't really want people to know. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and get I think the starting of the packages. The starting of the package is, yeah, I guessed it would be there. Yeah. So the starting of the package would be right on this side here. That's why there's that's 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 why there's so much packaging on the edge as well. And as you can see over here, over there, there's barely that much. On here, they did a great job to seal it up. I guess it's so then it doesn't open whilst being shipped or weather damage or anything like that, because that can occur as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and get a knife and open this thing up, and I'm gonna show you guys basically what it is, because I think this would be great for my desktop PC. You see, I usually order stuff for like laptops and stuff. I don't know, I just ordering things for desktop these days. Right, just so I know that the stream is running, before I unpack it, or unbox it, I'm just so used to unpacking things. Unbox it. I'm gonna just quickly... I didn't realise that was attached. Oh, shit. Okay, sorry for the language, guys. Okay. I'm just gonna boot this up quickly because... Give me a second, guys. I'm just going on one of my devices now, so give me a sec. Just wait for for Windows to boot up. I could do it on my desktop, but the thing is, like, my TV right now is on the HDMI for the PS4, so what's it called? And because it's on that HDMI, because it's on that HDMI, I don't really want to, like, change it all the time. Because number one, my TV remote is acting really weird. And it's like it's sort of working backwards. So when I let go of the button, then I can see the infrared beam start going. Then when I press the button, the infrared beam just goes away. And how I know what's going on, I basically swapped to the, I say selfie camera, but I mean front-facing camera on my phone. And that's basically how I noticed it. And I was like, that's not how it's... Because I usually, when I press a button, that's when the infrared beam starts going. For the duration that I press the button. But in this case, the remote was working backwards, and I don't know what's going on. Sometimes it would work, but then even when I put in fresh batteries, it still would work backwards, and it just glitch out completely, and I don't know what's going on. That's why I'm not using my TV with the remote, and that's why I'm not swapping out HDMIs all the time, or switching out HDMIs. Right, let's just go to YouTube. I don't know what the hell is on here. Good, open the new tab. I thought there would be some YouTube video like pre-saved or something on here. Alright, what the hell? No, I don't want to do that right now. Just go on YouTube for a second. Right. Come on, man. There. Search for my channel. There I am. It should say I'm live. Am I not live? Videos. That's videos. Live. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I'm live, shall we? Live. Oh, good. Yeah, there we go. Let's see if I'm live, shall we? Live. Oh, good. Wait, is this recording stereo audio? Stereo audio. Oh no, it's just mono. Alright. Wait, is this recording stereo audio? Oh no, it's just mono. Alright. Wait, is this recording stereo audio? Oh no, it's just mono. Alright. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let the stream echo for a bit. Give me a second. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let the stream echo for a bit. Give me a second. Give me a second, I'll be right back. I'm just gonna let the stream echo for a bit. Give me a second. Okay, I don't know how the echo just went away. Okay, I don't know how the echo just went away. Because I literally just left my laptop just like... I literally left my laptop just about over there. So I literally just left my laptop just like... I literally left my laptop just about over there. So I literally just left my laptop just like... I literally left my laptop just about over there. So, as we continue, right? So, I'm gonna hear an ASMR. If it doesn't echo. As we continue, right? So, give it a sec. I'm gonna hear an ASMR. If it doesn't echo. As we continue, right? So, give it a sec. I'm gonna hear an ASMR. If it doesn't echo. Is that one? Oh crap. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. So, I'll let the thing echo in the background. You ready? 3, 2... What can the phone see? 3, 2, 1. Okay, here we are. Just got the laptop just... Right, so... I like how they use this packaging. Oh yeah, good, it is my item. I can already see it. We've got the fan there. Probably already know what this is. Probably thinking, yes, it's a case fan. Amazing case fan, isn't it? 3, 2, 1. I love the packaging they use. Oh yeah, guys. We're in. Oh my, this heating is heavy. I thought these were copper pipes. I don't mind it being aluminium, but I thought it was copper. This is very nicely cleaned. And you know what brand this is, everyone? Oh yeah, I'm gonna be using this on my desktop PC. Imagine how quiet this is gonna be. What kind of packaging was this before? Was this for a graphics card? Why was it just sat there like randomly just in the middle? And I do like the kind of heatsink that was used here, because this is more of a thin heatsink with maybe copper pipes. But oh, look at that illusion! Do you see that illusion? Hold on. Crap. We do have the cable as well. I'm hoping the fan does function. It works. Seems fine. It's a pretty big fan. Seems a little bit bigger than the standard Intel heatsinks. Right, let me show you what I'm all about. Seems a little bit bigger than the standard Intel heatsinks. Right, let me show you what I'm all about. Because it's a heatsink and it's got loads of fins. I don't know. It's really hard to get it to show. Because it's a heatsink and it's got loads of but you got a bit of shadowing illusion there, as I'll call it. I don't even know why they use it. I mean, this fan does run really quiet though. Like, it doesn't make any sound. Is it one of the fans that pull up? Oh, it's not the fans that pull up. Hold on, because I know for some desktops there's different bearing types. There's one that just pulls up like that. That's why I know it's like what kind of fan it is. This one, I think this is just a bearing fan. Yeah, this one is not pulling up. I usually notice it a lot from laptop fans. Yeah, this is a bearing fan. That's why it's so. Look how stably it spins. How much air is this thing making? And which way would this be blowing? Would this be blowing this way or this way? Because I know usually the CPU fan, I've learned this from my own desktop. Hold on, let me exit out of here. I can hear the jet fan. There, turns off, nice. Let me just put this elsewhere so it doesn't look weird. Hold on. Okay, there we go. Right. So what was I on about? Yeah, so I was basically on about, so I'm not sure if this is on most desktops, but for my first ever desktop motherboard, which was actually, the one that I live streamed 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, two years ago I live streamed it. Like my first ever desktop motherboard. And yeah, that's basically my first ever desktop motherboard. So basically, with this one, because this is a different case fan. Also, the normal case fans, like the stock case fan, and this one's got more fins. This one's got way more than that. They usually have like 5-6 fins. This has got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Hold on, I must have miscounted that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Holy crap, this has got 9 fins. I thought this had 7 or 8. But yeah, I'm gonna assume maybe it spins this way or spins this way. I think it might spin this way because it looks like it's designed to just pull air out, if you know what I mean, like an Xbox 360. And no, not the Xbox 360 Fat, the Xbox 360 Slim, and the later Xboxes that had this is very, very Xbox like design. And yeah, luckily it came with these screws as well, because it said on the listing 1151, but my desktop uses 1155, so that's obviously newer generation. The higher the number, the newer the gen it would be. So obviously I may not add it in my desktop today, even though I really want to do it. Obviously I can't, or not at the moment. This is a low profile heatsink, so expect it to be that way, because you probably see my reflection. Hello. This is a low profile heatsink, so this is obviously not gonna be, how do I say, like, what's the best way to describe it? Like, there's gonna be, it's also shorter as well. The shorter the heatsink, the height of it, that's how you know it's more low profile. But I only bought this because, I want to put my desktop in like a mini ITX case, and I don't want the heatsink coming in the way, because I know that's gonna happen. I want like a really small form factor sort of casing, like a save on space. I don't know where I'm gonna put my current desktop case. I might put that somewhere, like, I might even sell it. I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, because number one is it doesn't even have a brand, so it's just some third party case. I just bought it off like somewhere, and yeah. So that's some third-party case that has no brand, which is very strange, but it does have a power supply that came with it. Oh look, a little fast fly is now on my window. That's great. Anyways, so yeah, I was originally looking for a heatsink with copper, like copper pipes, because this one has got pipes, but I don't know if this is copper or aluminium. This might even be aluminium pipes, if anything, because that's literally what it quite looks like. However, hold on. Let me think. We got some sort of numbering on here. If I shine it there we go. You can see on the fan, you've got some sort of numbering going on here. I'm not sure if that's a new model or older model. I didn't even know there was new or older models of these. But yeah, I guess Noctua even makes these too, so there you go. Right, let me just check on the pipes. This is a really clean heatsink. I don't even think that this was even used, or if it was cleaned very, very nicely, and it's not even dusty. That's good. But I guess the reason why the seller got rid of this, because he probably wanted an upgrade, but he was like, yeah, let's just sell the aluminium version. So yeah, I bought the aluminium version so that it could actually, yeah, this was used on you could clearly tell this was used because it was sat on a CPU for some time. Because it's got the shape of the CPU. Why is there some weird rainbow distortion effects going on here? Look at that. Got some distorted rainbow effects going on. It's not going to appear as much on the phone because it appears overexposed. But if I zoom in, let me zoom in. There we go. And I really want to use this Noctua fan with this. Let me show you guys. You can see how this sort of a rainbow effect, when it distorts. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a heatsink, and it had some heat in it before. I guess the CPU probably did get really hot, but again, I don't know what CPU he was using. It would have been nice if he even included like an Intel Pentium or something with it, because that would have been great. That's if it is going to be the most compatible CPU for my socket, because my socket is always like 3rd gen 1155, always. I don't think 1155 might not be 4th gen, but I think that's more of a 1156 thing, because 1156 is 4th gen, whereas 1155 is just 3rd gen. I don't think it can go any higher. I'm not sure about AMD sockets like FM4 and stuff like that, but I haven't really researched more into AMD stuff, but I've done a lot of research on Intel because that's what I'm mostly using these days. I'm using a lot of Intel-based stuff, a lot of Intel-based like motherboards and like CPUs and stuff, and I want to know if they're going to work with them. Because if I'm going to buy something for a reasonable price and not waste my money and just buy something that's not even compatible, do the research before you buy the stuff. That's what I did. And this said only 1151, but when I did my research on it the same day, or a couple of minutes later, through research, what I found was, I typed in is the 1151 heatsink compatible with socket 1155, and what the little results showed me was, every 1150XX CPU heatsinks are all compatible, so they work with 1155, 1150, 1151, 1156. So as long as it's the 1150 series, it will work with any of those variants there. But it obviously won't work with like LGA, what's it called? LGA 1200 and stuff like that, because that's more of a 5th or 6th gen socket. I think the most you can probably get is 1157. I think I haven't looked at it haven't looked a lot into it, but I think you can anyways. It's just gotten some extra land grid away pins. That's what I love about Intel motherboards. They always have that on a desktop. Laptop is a different story, because a laptop, if it's got an Intel CPU, you take out the CPU, it's gonna have pin grid away. Same with that, how was I able to upgrade the APU in this ages ago? Remember, If you even see that stream, how was I able to upgrade the APU in there? Because it was pin grid away, and that's the thing I love about, you know, sort of old hardware. If it's socketed, if it's socketed, if it's socketed, then you can easily upgrade it. But you obviously got to do your research, see, like, go on like stuff like Wikipedia and scroll down and see which year each one will release and what gen and what, you know, kind of thing it is, how many cores and how many threads and stuff like that, and like the core boost or the core boost, what it's got, you know. I think for my CPU, my desktop is probably, so it runs at 3.50, I think. But it could core boost to 4.90, if I'm not wrong. I could be wrong about that one. This is a 3rd gen Intel CPU. I'm not going to mention which one it is, but it's a 3rd gen. I might have showed you guys before, I don't know. But I know it's a 3rd gen, well, obviously I know that stuff. It's a 3rd gen Intel CPU. It's not a Pentium, it's not a Celeron. You know, Chromebooks use Celerons, and I was in the store the other day and I saw a Chromebook and I thought it had an i5 in it. I was like, what the hell? A Chromebook with an i5? I didn't know that. That's some powerful shit right there. You can easily install Windows on that, but obviously there's going to be no Windows key because it's a bloody Chromebook. And Chrome OS is terrible. Not optimized enough, I would say. Yeah. So, obviously, this is the only reason why I'm doing this upgrade as well. Only just because to replace my current heat. There's nothing wrong with my current heatsink. You know, like it takes all the heat and stuff from the CPU, and it, you know, like it transfers it and does its job. Same with the fan. There's nothing wrong with the fan. The only issue is this is my stock heatsink that I'm using from my old motherboard, and what's it called? You know, ever since then I still use the same heatsink, but the only issue is when I went to screw in this motherboard, it just wouldn't screw in. It's like it sort of screws in, and then the other side, you know, when I want to screw in all 3 screws, because it came with 3 screws. The 4th screw that was on this side was missing. I don't even know what happened to it. I think Mackenzie told me he had the screw somewhere, but I think he lost the spring for the screw, because obviously he's got springs to pressurize the thing. I see that a lot of laptops as well, like a lot of 2011 stuff and 2012 and stuff like that. I see a lot of basically, if it's a heatsink, it would have springs on it. Some heatsinks don't have that. Some heatsinks do have that in laptops. Yeah, the world of computers is quite strange, I would say. Not all the same. If everything was the same, then you can easily, like, if the AMD CPUs, the AMD APUs, feels strange saying AMD CPU. If the AMD APUs ran in the same sort of socket configuration on a laptop that the Intel CPU runs on the laptop, then you can easily switch them both out. You can easily put like an Intel CPU in your laptop. Whereas I love how this looks so legendary, where I'm just explaining something that I could see just the clouds. Just what was that? Why does my phone does that? It kind of flashes the thing. I don't know how to describe in real life, but it doesn't quite look like real life. I mean, yeah, the blue sky, the blue sky is accurate, yes. So yeah, right. What was I gonna say? Yeah. So what was I saying again? Yeah. So if the world of laptops was that easy, then of course you can. Because my Dell laptop, my very first laptop that I actually fixed, I opened it up and stuff. And before that, I used to be opening up a lot of consoles. That's where my experience of tearing down and stuff like that, and dismantling and stuff like that came from. In the world of tech. So yeah, I obviously dismantled the laptop, and or disassemble or tear down the laptop. It's all sort of the same. It's based on the same thing, anyways. Yeah, what's the thing? Yeah, so basically, when I teared down the laptop, supposed to be looking like a laptop in there. Obviously, it did. However, because the motherboard was so dusty, it looked like a sort of dust, as in like the sort of, I would say, not the light dust, the dust that kind of just sticks onto something and then it shows its color, that like colored dust, it looked like that, obviously. The color of dust, anyways. But yeah, what's it called? I don't know what kind of environment this user was in, but my god, honestly, like the guy who gave me that laptop, he literally, I don't even know what to say. That environment he was using it, and I think he had that laptop running 24/7 because he's in a really dusty environment. Remember when I took the fan out and stuff and everything, like the heatsink, there was no air coming through the heatsink, and the fan was just going full speed all the time. Yeah, all of that dust, especially when that GPU fails now, it's all because of that dust. You see, I think the laptop has never been opened in its entire life. However, I did manage to get it open, and that same day, I think it was, or a couple of days later, that same laptop was actually running a 32-bit version of Windows. That's why it would boot Windows so quickly, because the 32-bit version is way more quicker to boot, because it's booted by a 64-bit processor, but it's only half of that, it's only half of that. It's 32-bit, which is it's even less, which, yeah, you can use for base stuff, but like what I'm on about is like you always want to have a 64-bit processor, because there are some applications that are not compatible with the 32-bit version. Now, what I've learned, a lot from my research of Windows and stuff, is that same day, I think I made a video or something like that. When I wanted to go live on the streaming app that I use to go live on, well, laptop told me, or Windows said, that it's not compatible with a 32-bit PC. I was like, hold on, so wait, what version of Windows would this be working with then, if it's not compatible with 32-bit? Because I had no idea what 32-bit and 64-bit back then was. I never even heard of that until my research and stuff. And on all of my 64-bit devices, I've always had a 64-bit version of Windows. Now, I don't know why, but in the PS4's APU and the PS5's APU, Sony classes, or AMD, or both class it as 32-bit, which I find really strange, because my PS4 has got 8 cores, 8 threads, which is literally like a gaming beast of an APU. PS5, I think it might have the same amount, or around the same amount, something like that, I would assume. Yeah, PS5 is just, the AMD Ryzen APU is crazy. I know the original PS4 had AMD Jaguar, and then, the newer variants of the PS4, the newer versions or models, there was newer updated APUs. I think the PS4 Pro uses AMD Neo or something like that. I know the Xbox One, that uses AMD Radeon. That's the same stuff. AMD Radeon is the same stuff that's in my, with this laptop and my Dell laptop. Crazily enough, because, well, this is the strange thing, right? I don't think I can actually upgrade my graphics, because that's done, but the GPU is that's an AMD GPU. It's AMD Mobile Graphics 5000, which is, for the time, it was not that good. Or maybe it was, I don't know. I guess in laptops it was quite good back then, but nowadays it's terrible. And then you've also got so that laptop is still running an i3 with Arctic Silver 5 still in it. Yes, I just completely forgot to put the new thermal paste in it. I could have put MX4. I probably did put MX4 in there. I probably just forgot to I don't know. I do remember making a live stream clearly of me applying some Arctic Silver 5 in there. Because, when I got Arctic Silver 5, that was originally for my PS3 Fat, but then, that still got the yellow light to death. That's that. I don't know, it did power up one time, but I think there's an issue with the neck token, or I would say the power supply. But the ticking sound I would say, like, I don't know. It could be if it's something as simple as a worn out power supply. Then what have I been doing all this time? If it's something that simple, that's really easy to replace. I could just easily just disconnect it and put the new power supply in there. I forgot which model. This is a backwards compatible one. It's got four USBs on the front. It looks like a PS3. Even though two things are missing from it. That's just the flappy bit for the next to the Blu-ray drive. That for the SD cards and stuff like that. And then the next thing is actually no. There's three things: the hard drive cover, the flappy thing, and the PlayStation logo that flips sideways. A lot of users didn't know that you can obviously do that. Obviously, that's a little thing Sony like to put in there. Until the PS3 Slim, that's when they took it away, and then it's just a solid PlayStation logo, as I show you right now. Clouds are getting quite grey out there. Still being a bit of a blue sky, but anyways, what I mean is, let me pull this along. I know this is just a live stream of a heatsink, but what's it called? Give me a sec. Alright. So, let me just get some lighting. Never mind. If you can see the PlayStation logo on there, this is the PS3 Slim. The Sony's first ever launch model. What was it called again? Not CUH, or was it? I think it didn't have CUH back then. I didn't know. I don't think they had any letters of. I think they only just had digits back then. So this was a 2003A. That's Sony's first ever PS3. That's the launch model. Now 2003A for me, or where I live, that's actually a launch model, and it still is because it's got the letter 3. I guess it would be 2000A. As the original launch model. This is also original as well, but this is original for Europe. I guess that's why it's got that digit on there. But yeah. So I would get a newer model, but I don't know. See, I wanted a good emulation on the PS3 Fat. Maybe not good emulation, but hardware processing. You got the what was the chip called? I keep forgetting the chip's name. I want the Emotion Engine with graphics sensitizer chip, so then I could have good emulation. And then I was thinking to get rid of this PS3 Slim because it doesn't have that emulation, doesn't have that extra thing. Now, that's obviously a backwards compatible thing. It still plays PS1 CDs, but it just doesn't play PS2 games. Because obviously you have to soft mod it to do that, or you can, I guess you have to jailbreak it to do that, which I don't want to. I want to do it legally and natively, or as my brother would say, naturally, because he's not really much into tech. But yeah, I say natively because I know that's the term used as naturally, but the tech way. So yeah. So what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? Yeah, so that's why I originally bought Arctic Silver 5 was just for the PS3. So then I have thermal paste on hand, then I can put thermal paste in, so there's cooling, somewhat cooling, as I turn it on, and then it can actually boot up and stuff. I reckon it could be just maybe a worn up. I really can't tell what it is. When I opened up the PS3, it was caked with just dust. There was dust in the vents of the power supply. There was dust, every vent of the console. I remember cleaning all that dust. There was the heatsink. I think the heatsink was also full of dust as well. Blu-ray drive, not much, but my God, some people's homes are just dusty. Really, really, really dusty. Full of dust fluff. And that's what makes things, like electronics, just harder to clean. Because if it's something with cooling, and I see it with a lot of laptops that I open as well, heatsink is always covered with dust. As for this laptop here, and I know it's getting quite dark, but I know you can't see probably. With this laptop, I already know that the heatsink is covered in dust, because I've shined a torch through it and I've looked through the fan intake vents and I didn't see any light come through. That's not because of the design of it. I would have seen it easier. I would have seen the light reflecting on the fan, but I didn't see anything come through because I knew. And then I did the same thing, the other way, which I put the light in the fan intake vents, or on the fan intake vents, to look through the heatsink. I didn't see any light come through the heatsink. That's why I know it's covered with dust. Yeah. That's just a little detailed explanation of how I know. Especially with these sort of laptops. This is actually a 32-bit laptop because I think I've seen it in the video. It's got like Core 2 Duo and stuff like that. I've never really used a lot. I don't think I've ever used any system with a Core 2 Duo. I've always minimum base CPU. I've always used an i3 minimum, like a second, third gen i3. I've always used that as the minimum base CPU. But yeah, back in 2010, when the Dell laptop launched, I guess the i3 was a big thing back then, or would it have been an i5? I'm not sure, but yeah. So, I don't know what gen of Core 2 Duo this is, but it's definitely something. And if I want, I could also, as an upgrade, even though it's still gonna be 32-bit, whatever, as an upgrade, just because why not? I'm thinking probably when I get this thing working, when I get the charger and thing for it. Sorry about that. When I get the charger thing for it, I'm thinking to upgrade it with a Core 2 Quad, which is not dual cores, quad core. It can do more things, but it's running at the same speeds, I guess, and stuff like that. But the Core 2 Quad is basically a better version of the Core 2 Duo if you're on a 32-bit system. That's so funny. Thinking of it now, right? I guess this entire time Mackenzie's been using, because he told me his desktop PC uses what's it called, an Intel Core 2 Duo. That's 32-bit. Even on a desktop it's 32-bit. Oh my. And then he's been running a GT 710 along with it. Pretty low end stuff there. But yeah, I guess that's his budget, but my budget's different, so yeah. Right, let me just mute the microphone because I gotta blow my nose, so give me a sec. Okay, everybody, I am back. Yeah, so, what's it called? So what's it called? Yeah, so I was on about, like, the Core 2 Duo and stuff like that. Now, finishing off with that, just imagine how easy the world would be if the Intel and AMD sockets were both the same thing. So if AMD switched to land grid away, and Intel kept Land Grid away, and then say if Intel came back with the 1155 Gen 2 socket, and then the AMD CPUs were compatible with that, and then both, you have to install extra driver for it to actually function properly, but yeah, both of them will work together. That's crazy how there's also a desktop motherboard that's got 2 CPU sockets. Why would you even need that many? Next thing is probably going to be one with 4 CPU sockets, and then 8, and then even more and even more. You don't need that many. Honestly, to be honest with you, that's going to take way too much power, and that you don't even need that many, because one CPU is always enough. Or one processor is always enough. You don't need more than one. Whether it be AMD or Intel, you don't need more than one. You don't need more than one CPU. All you need is one CPU, one graphics card, which most people do have. And yeah, because AMD makes some crazy stuff sometimes. It's like, what was it, like 64 cores and 128 threads, so something like that. Wow, it was almost the size of 2 CPU sockets combined together. Well, it was basically that, like two CPU sockets combined together. But yeah, what's it called? So yeah, if you guys have enjoyed today's stream, I can barely see anything on my phone because it's ghosting a lot. If you guys have enjoyed today's stream, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. And maybe the part 2 would be on the Noctua fan. Because, I've never really had a Noctua fan. I've never had any Noctua product before. Not even the Thermal Grizzly Cryonaut. I think that's Noctua's thermal paste. Or might not be. I don't think it is, no, because that's Thermal Grizzly. I do remember Noctua making a thermal paste. Don't know if it was super high performance, but I know it was high performance. But it wasn't as high performance as, the Arctic MX6 that I got. Because MX6 is on another level. That's ultimate performance. Almost ultra performance thermal paste. That's what I'm going to be using with this. I'm going to be using this, the Noctua heatsink and its own Noctua fan. I'm hoping the fan does work because it looks like it's going to work. Spins like it's going to work. I think it might even work. I don't know. What if I just blow it a little bit? Hold on. Okay, the fan does spin. You can see, yep. Yep, it does make a sound as well, like it's blowing it. You probably even heard that go. That's just pulling so much suction. But yeah, be careful with heat sinks, because this is a massive block of aluminium, not aluminum. I don't really know what else to say. When I bought this originally, I thought the seller, because what I saw in the pictures in the listings, I thought it had copper pipes. It looks like it does, but it may not be on that level. I'm not really sure. I think it's good to have those type of pipes. So it's basically like a sort of a performance heatsink, but it's like a very low profile version. And I guess that's why this guy was selling, because I looked on other websites. They were way too expensive. If I do find a copper version of this, I will let you guys know and probably just name it copper version, because really it's going to have like proper copper pipes and a copper surface, and with that it's going to allow like amazing heat, just amazing, like the dissipation of heat from the CPU is going to carry it amazingly. Yeah, I mean, just imagine now when I turn my desktop on, just imagine how quiet it is, all you hear is just air. I guess the only thing after this I'll probably hear, because I heard Noctua fans are very, very silent fans. They make amazingly silent fans because they're all ball bearing. This feels like a ball bearing based. What was I gonna say? Yes. I guess the only fan that I might hear now is either my case fan doesn't really get that loud, but still my case fan, or mostly my power supply fan. I'm probably gonna hear one of those. I'm really curious now to see if Noctua has ever made like a power supply or something like that, something very power efficient. So yeah, on about the PS3 though. That ticking sound could just be a bad power supply. People don't really give much info about the Yellow Light to Death, issues on the PS3. And the worst thing is, it doesn't even give you any sort of code. Like, when you press the eject button and the sync button together on that one console, it shows you the codes. On the PS3, there's no way to do that. The PS3 is not really designed like that. Because it doesn't just stay running. When you turn it on, it either shows yellow light to death or it doesn't. If it stays on longer, then obviously But yeah, I want to get this PS3 working. And yeah, so it was a bit of a repair challenge for me because this thing just got caked with dust, and the previous user that I bought this off didn't really clean it or anything. It was all sealed. So when I opened it, it was all caked with dust. It hasn't been tampered before, luckily, because that's what most users do, is when the electronic device like a PS3 fails, they just look at YouTube videos and try to fix it, which is how it's supposed to be. But at the same time, you don't know what that user did. But I can't. I guess I can buy a power supply for the PS3 and it might work again. Like, obviously it's gonna turn on. It should boot up again and shit. It should. Yeah. If it's just a bad power, if it is a bad power supply, how is it turning on? You know what I mean? Obviously the power supply also uses a little bit of like a CPU technique. So basically what I mean by that, the power supply has like little timer chips and little like massive like transformers and stuff like that. Just all the power supply-ish components inside that make it a power supply. Maybe it's one of those, like sort of like a CPU voltage applier. Maybe it's a CPU voltage chip or component inside the power supply that's failed. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just some grounding thing's gone or something. Or maybe I would say, because that does sound very mechanical. I know that's not the hard drive because I even took the hard drive out and it wasn't the hard drive making that noise. It did sound a lot like a mechanical hard drive, but it didn't. It wasn't the mechanical hard drive because there was a mechanical hard drive in there. When I took it out, I performed the same test, and it basically made the same noises, and the hard drive wasn't even in there. So yeah. But yeah, what's it called? I think when you turn the PS3 on, like, the SD card reader tries to read for something, but it doesn't read anything. I guess it does that every time I turn it on. Other than that, though, the PS3 is just almost just dead or something. I don't know. Then one time I had the PS3 just glitch out on me completely. And it just... I think this was before I bought the sample paste. When I was messing around with it a little bit more to get it to turn on and stuff, to get it to boot... I think it went yellow light to death, and then I unplugged it the second that yellow light appeared, and then I plugged it back in, and then the PS3 just kind of, it was just staying yellow, like it wasn't doing anything else, which is quite funny because you could have that as like a little backlit thing in the background. I don't know. Yeah, so there's a lot of things you could do with a dead PS3. Obviously the thing still does turn on, but not in the same way. That makes sense, as it used to. Yeah, I want to get this thing fixed. Before I was like, yeah, I'm probably going to send it to some PC repair shop, get it fixed there. But I was like, no, I could probably try and find the issue myself. Maybe not, I don't know. So it's either a like faulty NEC token chips or dodgy ones that don't work most of the time, but then sometimes they choose to work if they bother to work. And then the other thing it could be, because it was caked with dust, that tells me the GPU could have melted the solder joints. And then, I gave it a bit of a reflow and it all turned on again. But that's how the same PS3 that spat out that disc that one time. That was like a week before I even received the thermal paste. It just randomly, I was just messing around with it, and I spammed that eject button, and it just randomly just turned on, and I saw the blue LED light up. I was like, holy shit. And then the fan went to full speed because there was no thermal paste. But holy crap, I don't even know how I got that to work. Don't even ask me how I got that to work, because I don't even know myself. I don't even, that was pure luck. I didn't have thermal paste back then, but obviously I didn't want this thing to overheat and melt, that quickly, because I know how hot this PS3 gets. It gets extremely hot. If this had like a 7th or 8th gen CPU or something like that that doesn't overheat on startup, then yeah, maybe I could have not had thermal paste. I could just plug it in the TV, but I didn't have any displays with me at that time, because I just didn't. I guess I could have got the AV cable and plugged it straight in, like just pulled it straight out of my PS2 and plugged it in, turned the TV on whilst the PS3 was still running, and then go on the AV signal and see if it did, because I think this thing probably does still post, and it should still post. But I cannot locate the issue, and I don't even know what the issue even is originally. I know it's got yellow light to death, but could it be a bad power supply? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I guess because zero ventilation, the CPU probably didn't overheat, or probably must have, but it didn't melt any solder joints. Not the CPU. I always think the CPU, because the CPU is the main part. The GPU. Yo, man, did you do the unboxing yet? Yes, I did. Look, unboxing's all done. If you're still watching. I just saw your comments, by the way. Yeah, so what's it called? The PS3, basically, what was I saying? Yeah, Jamie, I'm just talking about the PS3 and, some issue that maybe I can come up to fix it permanently. Because if I give it a replacement power supply, maybe that could fix the issue. However, if I buy a power supply for the new model PS3 fat, but still backwards compatible, the voltage supply may be a little bit different. Like, it may supply a little bit less amps into the console, which is not really a good thing, because all the power supplies do supply more amps and power sometimes. But in a console, a new power supply would always supply less power, because obviously less power is needed because of physical hardware changes. What's it called? So yeah, the PS3, I think one of three things. Maybe melted solder joints. The second thing is, which is really common as well, the neck token chip is dodgy or faulty. All of them are, probably. Maybe just one of them, I don't know, but maybe all of them. They're like little capacitors. They're not some shitty smart chips or anything like that. So I could probably easily desolder them. The next thing could also probably be, I could also buy like organic chips and get four organic chips equivalent to the neck token chips, and just have them placed into, like, joined up together and stuff. Places it in the original position for the neck token. And then the third thing is, which is the easiest to fix, probably just a bad power supply. That's what it kind of sounds like, but I don't know. It's really hard to know what it is, especially in this PS3, because there could be so many things wrong with it. Like, obviously I know there's nothing else wrong with it because it's not common, but the common things are, if you give it a reflow, then it might start working again. Most of the time it won't. Most of the time it does in the videos, but when I do it, most of the time it doesn't. It still shows the yellow lights of death. But that day when it spat out the disc, I did give it a reflow, but I think I went over the CPU mostly. I think it was that I reflowed the most. And then when I put it all back together, when I connected everything back up, I spammed the eject button, I heard the fan spin, then just turned on. I was like, what the hell? Then the fan was spinning to full speed because because of all that reflowing heat that I put in the console. Yeah, that really made the fan spin, didn't it? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I think this is the Nordic fan version, so this has got less blades, a smaller motor, but it's a more the blades are more bigger, so it can, I guess, push more air. But at the same time, if I buy the Delta one or the NMB variant, it's one of those. The Delta or it's NMB. I know it's one of them. The motor is much more bigger, and the blades are much more less, but it's got more blades in that one. So, that's something. It's a bit like a laptop fan, that one. I don't know. I might stay with the Nidec one because it's very quiet. I don't know how loud the Delta one is, but yeah. Also, can't wait to do the fan test on here because, why not? Why not do the fan test? And I don't even know what software version this is on. I hope it's on launch version. Otherwise, I don't know. It's probably not because the game that came out, the game that it spat out, it was from 2012, so, or 2011, for that matter. 2012 or 2011. When you end your live stream, can you join the call? I don't know. I don't know about that one. So, what shall I do? Shall I put this Noctua heat-sinking fan back in the box? Or... I guess I could. Reverse the packaging. Okay. Yeah, So yeah, I guess that's enough talk about the PS3. I mean, the PS3... the backwards compatible one. This is a 60 gig as well. And it clearly says on the hard drive 60 gig. And then it's got 4 USB ports, obviously. It's got the nice Merry Chrome finish on the front of the Blu-ray drive and the accent of the console. Yeah, it shows that it's backwards compatible. Really does show it, but the hardware doesn't really bother to even do anything. I think this might be the emulation model because it doesn't have the chip that I wanted to have, but whatever. I guess it would still work. The only disadvantage is that everything is passively cooling then, because when you have the original, what's it called? The original Emotion Engine graphics synthesizer chip inside the PS3, that's not even actively cooling for a start. That's passively cooling. That's cooling by a thermal pad and just metal. Literally like a RAM, like how the RAM would cool, but even worse. So, yeah. Not good. What else was I gonna say? Yeah. So, I guess if I do put a backwards compatible game in there, it will read it, and PS3 is known for reading CDs, DVDs, and Blu-rays. And because obviously it's just designed like that. Yeah, so I think one day ages ago as well, back in 2020, I think it was, or probably a little bit before that, I took a look at the DVD drive just because I was just a little bit curious. And I was like, no, it's not the DVD drive that's stopping the whole thing from turning on, because that's what my dad thought. I told him there's a game stuck in the DVD, in the Blu-ray drive. Then I was like, yeah, that's what's probably stopping it from turning on. I'm like, no, that's not what happens, because I know how this thing works. If it's showing that, then it's not related to the Blu-ray drive. Even if there was something wrong with the Blu-ray drive, it will still turn on and it will still post. It's just that the Blu-ray drive may be unusable, or the drivers just won't work for it. But that doesn't mean that the entire console will just not want to boot, Obviously the console will still boot, still post, still boot, and still do what it normally does when it turns on, or after it boots. But yeah, so this is one issue about the PS3. They literally get so hot. So obviously because the software. The software, this is one thing, right? One thing I've really noticed with software can also make the hardware overheat. Software, is so powerful You've seen it everywhere, guys, and don't tell me you haven't, because I know with overclocking, overclocking is not a hardware thing, that's a software thing. Obviously, you know, if you use something like MSI Afterburner or something like that, then yeah. I mainly use MSI Afterburner for my overclocking, but I did try to underclock my laptop last time, my Dell laptop, and it just completely crashed on me. Like when it asked me to restart, I restarted it and it just didn't boot at all. It just came with like Windows crashed and stuff like that. But yeah, so you know, there could be another way without using MSI Afterburner, because that's some powerful stuff there. If that's preventing the laptop to actually boot and stuff, you know, yeah, I would rather MSI Afterburner. That's very 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 useful for overclocking as well. Because I think I tried to overclock the RAM one time, or overclock the GPU or something like that. It did work, I think. Yeah, so you know, my primary application use is MSI Afterburner. But yeah, I mean, if you want more hardware stuff, go for the Noctua stuff, because this live stream is not sponsored by Noctua, but honestly, this is just this heatsink. This heatsink I know will cool a lot more than the one that I've currently got in there, the stock Intel heatsink. How I know that is literally just because the stock Intel heatsink is just longer. Because it's aluminium, it's not going to cool as much. Because it can't carry the heat all the way to the top where the fan is. That's very very basic design. This is the low profile it is, the more lower the height is, the better it be. That's why when Sony makes a newer version of the same console, not the newer model, the newer sort of version, I would say, because with the 2023, or no, not 23, the 3003A or 3003B, what I've seen, the heatsink is always smaller. When Sony always does that, when Sony always makes that small hardware change, it does make a big difference. So I think it will obviously be the same thing for desktop as well. And obviously my CPU probably won't be getting that hot, but you never know. Sometimes it can get quite hot, like really hot. Like sometimes it can get pretty hot, and then sometimes it just doesn't get that hot at all. Really depends on what Windows is doing in the background. So yeah, Windows is really really powerful on this thing as well. I gave it a reinstall, but it was a reinstall of a Windows that isn't even that powerful. Because I just didn't really need Windows 10 Pro. I needed another version, because that boot time was better, and just overall performance and gaming performance was always better. So yeah, there you go, guys. That's all. That's gonna be it for now. I guess a different edition of Windows. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and put this Noctua heatsink and fan back in the box. You guys obviously see me use this after I unbox it, but I'm just going to put it back in the box because I'm quite ill at the moment, or I feel that way. There we go. I think it was configured like that. There we go. It was like somewhere in the middle, and then it had this box over it like that. Oh crap! There we are. Yeah, I remember seeing the fan like that, and then I remember this being on top to protect it from any further landing. And there we go. Easy as that, guys. It's easy as that. Literally. Right. I know Jamie's probably waiting for me now in the call or something. Maybe in the party, I'm not sure. I'll just put this box somewhere for now, temporarily. Since put the heatsink and fan back in there. I'll just put it. I don't know where to put it actually. I'll just put it like. Oh, where could I put this? Maybe just on top of here. lay it on my desktop. So hopefully that doesn't fall. Right. Yeah, that's still open and closed. Great. Yeah, so if you guys have enjoyed today's stream, making sure this wouldn't fall, I don't want it to fall. If you guys have enjoyed today's stream, you know what to do, and obviously my TV and stuff and my PS4 is sleeping. 50% charge, not bad. So the phone is half charged. Right, let's go ahead and see if... What am I going to do now? I'm probably just going to... I guess wake up my PS4 because it's been sleeping for days now. I guess it's been in a coma for a couple of days or about a week or so now. But yeah, I'm going to go back on it and play a game and... Yeah, probably just join the party with Jamie and stuff. Right. So yeah, what the hell's the time? 4 p.m. and it's already sort of getting dark. It's winter time, but it's a sunny day. That's why it's not getting so dark. Otherwise, if it was a cloudy day, it would get really dark so early. Summertime, it usually gets dark by 5 or 6, 7, 8, 7, even sometimes 7, 8 p.m. There's still daylight, and then 9, 10 p.m. That's when it actually gets dark. That's what it used to be like back in summertime. Yeah, literally, man, literally. Right, so yeah, I'm gonna probably just end it here. My next live stream would probably just be about, when I don't know if I'm gonna make a live stream or not, but the next time I do come back to this, I will basically just put the heatsink and just install it in my desktop PC. And then I don't know what I'm gonna do with the old one. I might just put that in the box, sort of like a reverse packaging thing. And yeah, so it's gonna be running more efficiently and quieter and saving 10 times more power, and not heating up as much. Even though this is still aluminium, this is not the high profile standard profile heatsink, because that's from a business PC motherboard. That's why it's like that. This is more of like suits mini ITX, a lot more crab. Yeah. Right. So yeah, that's probably going to be it for the day. And yeah, I know the phone screen. The phone screen. There. The phone screen. It's ghosting a lot. That's why it looks more darker on there. Real life is a little bit more brighter than it is on the phone. I'm holding my phone horizontally with one hand, which looks really weird. Not weird, but strange. But whatever. I guess I could do like a little cinematic shot. Ready? Yeah, so like, comment, and subscribe. Are you going on PlayStation with me? Yes. Have I showed you guys how I turn on my TV now? Because I can't even turn it on with the remote. Look at this. Look. Turn on the plug for it. My phone plug is getting fairly warm. Sometimes it does get extremely hot to the touch. And I can't even touch it because it gets so hot for some reason. Right, I'm just gonna... How much percent is it on? 51%. It's charging. It charges really slow when it's live streaming. Even though when it's on airplane mode and when it's on airplane mode and when it's not doing anything, even if it's got some sort of application running in the background with the phone just sleeping, it does charge fairly quickly. Like, literally. But yeah, so I'm just gonna show you guys. Now, this is gonna look really weird, But what's it called? Okay, let me just show you guys one thing, right? Turn this on. Just gonna up the camera. Look at this. The entire look at that buttons. Some buttons literally fell out. Like, what the hell? So I have to turn it on in a very inappropriate way. Look at this. I have to really like get my nail to hit the button. The actual button. Not the plastic part, the actual button. That's how I get it to turn on. That's you know the noise it makes. Anyways, so yeah. Gonna wake up my PS4 because as you see it's still asleep. It's been in a coma for a couple of days because I've been way too busy. So I remember one time I left my PS4 sleeping for ages, not that long, but probably about like a week or two or so, and a couple of days after that as well. I've left my PS4 in a coma for quite long, and it kind of woke itself up, but it was still sleeping, if that makes sense. And my desktop PC one time also with the old motherboard, it was asleep for like not almost a month, but weeks as well. I would say it was asleep for a couple of days. Then when I went to go grab something in my room, I saw the LED on my mouse was turning on. I was like, what the hell? And I was like, why is this on? Because usually the LED for the laser turns off, but randomly turned on. Yeah, I guess when hardware is sleeping, it doesn't really doesn't optimize properly sometimes. I guess it can't be asleep forever. It can't be asleep for too long because then it starts doing weird things when it's asleep. Then, sort of like it's very similar to what the human body does when it's sleeping. Yeah. That's very simple because sometimes when someone's sleeping, how like random parts of the body starts twitching. I guess that's what happens with technology as well. If you leave it asleep for too long with accessories plugged in, especially USB devices plugged in, it will start it will start applying power to the USB ports and just kind of idle with that on. I don't know why it does that. That's my experience of sleeping hardware, or the PS4 and the PC sleeping. So, yeah. Anyway, I don't really leave them asleep for too long now because I know what happens anyways, and this thing stays connected to the internet no matter what when it's asleep. I could turn that off. I mean, I have turned it off, but it still shows the LED. Right. So we're gonna go ahead and just do this now. Oh yeah. Before I do that, hold on. Before I do that. Crap. Alright, hold on. Give me a second. You can just see how nice the sunset looks out there. Give me a second. There we go. You can just see how nice the sunset looks out there. Sometimes it looks very, very pink and blue, and it's just a nice little mixture. Sometimes it just sort of looks like this. This is on a sort of a normal sunny day. Looks pretty good. Right. Anyway. Oh crap! I almost just fell over then. Gravity just pulls me down like a dumbass. Right. So let's go ahead and get the controller. Let's turn it on. What the hell can I see? Give me a second. Oh, shit. Right, 3, 2, 1. Might need a bit of an oil up there. I hear the oil I use just dries up so fast. Like, within about 2-3 months it just dries up. Well, there we go. It was asleep for so long. Right, I'm just going to turn my controller off now, so let's turn my controller off. And yeah, so that's pretty much been it for the live stream. The PS4 is now awake. And yeah, so if you haven't enjoyed today's stream, you know what to do. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys maybe I don't know if I am. I don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or next week or whenever it is. Even next month, I don't know. But if you guys have enjoyed today's stream, you know what to do. I'll see you in part 2. Part 2 could just be based on the heatsink and the fan. me just installing it, or it could just be something entirely different. Like probably not even a part two. Probably the the Discord dimension thing that happens like not that much, but it's like it's kind of rare for it to happen, but it does happen sometimes. When me and Jamie are on the call, I don't know why it does it, but it's really funny. It does it out of nowhere, just randomly. Yeah. So if you guys have enjoyed today's stream, because me and Jamie are on a call whilst being in a PlayStation party at the same time and talking as well. Yeah, and talking as well, and literally just like the Jamie says, is Discord doing that thing again? And I'm like, what? Oh no, not the dimension thing. It's really funny. I want to capture it live on stream, but I just could never do that because I do it like after both of us notice that the dimension thing's going on again with the Discord call. So yeah, technology is really funny. Oh, technology, man, so funny. But yeah, this is why I'm all about tech, because there's just so many things about it I like. But it's to do with the servers or maybe the DNS. I don't think it's really the DNS, because if that was the case, then other people would also report it, but not on a Discord call, obviously on a different app. It could just be like maybe the drivers go funny, or maybe like the Discord sort of sound processing drivers go funny, or the mic drivers go funny, and then they go higher pitch. Or it's like I think it's the servers doing that, because obviously our voices processed through the servers. The servers are pretty quick. For where I live, the servers are actually quite quick. I don't know where the servers are located, but I'll try and find the nearest Discord servers. The actual Discord, like the actual... I know it's going to be located in America somewhere. The same thing with DNS servers. Every DNS that I use always located somewhere in America. That's why the DNS later on in a couple of months, that's why the DNS starts losing that up and down speed, because it's located so far away. I don't know what's going on in that DNS server center. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna go ahead and actually, you know what? I'm gonna join the party live. I don't know. I just feel like it. Join the party live, and yeah, pretty much. See how much my TV ghosts, but whatever. I just ignore it most of the time, anyways. It's LED, it's full HD, but this is still a great TV. I've seen OLED TV, like a massive one in person the other day. Oh my god, so immersive. I loved it. But I couldn't buy it because it was so expensive. It was like 1,200. I was like, no, I'm not paying that much. That's way too much for an OLED. But OLED usually price around that much. Right, so anyways. Obviously, LEDs are cheaper, even though if they're like 40, 50 inch, they're still cheaper than OLEDs, because LED is LED. I really want to get like an OLED, but for about the same price as an LED, but I can't really find anything like that, because any OLED I try to find that's just about the same size as this LED TV, the price is way too high. That's not within my budget. That's way too high, but I can probably just build up the budget or something. Anyways, yeah, so that's going to be about it now. I don't know, is Jamie gone somewhere? Because he's not talking. Hold on. Let me get my headphones. Oh, crap. Wow, haven't been on this PS4 in days, man. It's been crazy. But I want to get my shooting skills back up, and a bit of my driving as well. But yeah. Probably just going to catch up, of life, about life with Jamie and stuff like that. So we've not been on the call for a couple of days, but obviously so many things just go on in one day, Obviously I can handle all the things going on one day. It's just that there's so much that happens in one day, But yeah, what's it called? Anyways, there we go. Give me a second. Unfolding my headphones with one hand. There we go. And yeah, there we are. Let me just. I think I used these this morning. Yes, I did. Amazing. All right. So now, give me a second. Yo, man. I like how even on the live stream, my TV looks like pure white. Look at that. Pure white. Like all the words and text look pure white. Just see my microphone moving. Right. I think Jamie is gone somewhere because his controller is muted. But anyways, I'm probably just gonna end it here anyways. So if you have enjoyed today's stream, you know what to do. Why is my mic moving? Oh, there we go. It's funny. Like, comment, and subscribe, and me and Jamie will see you in the next one. I don't know, man. Yeah? What? Haircut? Are you gonna get, like, before you go, like, what kind of haircut are you getting? I'm just curious. Okay. What a dealing that was. I said, what a dealing that was in my voice in the stream at the party. What a delay! Oh man, it's DNS even the same. I think I am using the same DNS. It's just, why is it so delayed? Uh-huh. Alright. Uh-huh. Mm. Mm. That's like what? Like, testing, 1, 2. Seven seconds delay. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. All right. Right, that's gonna be pretty much about it, guys. Um, yeah. So, like I said, I'll probably make another live stream. I don't know when, but whenever I can. Because there's a school and so many things just keep me busy, and it's like, oh man, school is the like massively just keep me most of my day. Like, oh my god, man, I don't even know what like how to say it, but like, it's like it's like most of my days are like spent at school, and it's like I come home and sleep, but then I only get like 2 hours at home or 1 hour at home. Actually, no, 1 or 2 hours or even 3-4 hours at home, just doing whatever. And then obviously I sleep then. But that's honestly, I don't know. I'd rather have very little time at school, and oh, I just don't know what's going on in my mind. I've just not been talking much lately. Um, and what's it called? So yeah, very little time spent at school, and then spend most of my day at home. I would rather prefer that kind of day, you know. It did happen once, but that was like last year because of something. Uh, yeah, we had a shortage of water, and yeah, it didn't go too well. But yeah, whatever. So yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, and yeah, I just heard Jamie's home screen theme. Uh, right, his PS5 is idling, so I'm just gonna go ahead and play this game, and yeah, so like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Remember, next live stream, I'm saying this for the third or fourth time. The next live stream would be probably on the heatsink and the fan, installing in my PC, or it might be on something completely different. So wait for part 2. If not a part 2, just wait for anything else. So yeah, pardon me. Yeah. So like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.